Our economic fortunes are tied up to those of China. It's easily our largest two-way trading partner, accounting for about a third of all trade. In June, our exports to China, that's excluding Hong Kong, topped $16.3 billion. In fact, trade with China in June was about 140 times the level it was 40 years ago. Over and above all of this, China is battling to contain what could be the biggest property crash the world has ever seen, which would create a perilous moment for the country's communist leadership, to say nothing of the global economy. In fact, China is reportedly facing a total collapse of confidence amongst ordinary people in the once buoyant housing market. Add to that the continuing ravages of Beijing's draconian COVID-0 strategy and the extreme heat wave that's affecting the supply of power and food, and you've got a very significant economic downturn. Consider this. The Chinese housing market has driven growth in China for the past 2 decades. It now represents, that's the Chinese housing market, the biggest asset class in the world, with a notional value of between $55 and $60 trillion, which is bigger than the total capitalisation of the US stock market. But developers are now going broke after being deprived of easy credit. Prices are falling. Homeowners are refusing to pay mortgages on unfinished homes, and the slump in properties being sold and constructed is crippling local governments who rely on land sales for income. The problem for President Xi is the government has come so far down the COVID lockdown track and the crackdown on lending in the property market that Xi and his acolytes can't turn back, because it would look like a misjudgment or a policy mistake. Now, with all that as background, it's surely fanciful in this environment to be talking about China and Taiwan. Despite threats and intimidation by Beijing and its military, Taiwan's resistance to unification only grows stronger. More and more people are identifying themselves as exclusively Taiwanese, not exclusively Chinese or both. More are showing support for independence. Given the threats to Taiwan and the deteriorating freedoms and rights inside China, it is a fair question to ask why anyone in Taiwan would want to go back to life under the authoritarian rule that they left behind decades ago. But as John Howard says in the excellent essay on this issue in his recent book, A Sense of Balance, quote, "In a knockdown, drag-out fight, Taiwan would not be easy to subjugate. Moreover," he writes, "a defeated and resentful Taiwan would prove a costly and resource-consuming Chinese province," unquote. So in short, given the current state of the Chinese economy, it is hard to see how President Xi will be able to act upon his overt desire that Taiwan should become part of China.